Every dive that director and explorer James Cameron makes to the Titanic fills in missing pieces of the story about why and how it sank. And he continues to find things to shed light on the massive scale of the catastrophe. It's a powerful reminder of the astonishing forces which reduced the largest moving man-made object to this state. Titanic's bow is embedded 6 stories deep in the mud, which hides the section damaged by the berg. Cameron has thoroughly searched this area on previous dives, but never found anything that was obviously iceberg damaged. There is one huge hole in the side of the ship that many of the explorers that have dived the wreck initially thought might have been caused by the ice. Ice did not do this. In fact, the forces that made this hole make the iceberg scrape look like a fender bender. Just like the exploding hatch cover, this hole was caused by the impact of the ship on the bottom, followed by a massive eruption of water from within. And it might provide the opening for another investigation.
See how the hull is pulled away? And you can see the structure inside. We're looking aft. You can see right down into the boiler room right there.
Cameron wants to get into one of the boiler rooms damaged by a fire.
I don't know what would rip the front.
Another little-known fact about the Titanic, certainly the passengers didn't know, is that a major fire was burning in the coal bunker between 2 of the ship's boilers. It probably started before the ship left port. The firemen couldn't put it out, and all the crew could do was shovel the red-hot coal into the furnaces. They finally extinguished the fire the night before the disaster. They then covered up the damage with black oil to make the bunker look normal. Incredibly, the bulkhead damaged by the fire was the very one separating the flooded bow from the dry compartments aft. When it failed, an hour after the collision, the sinking accelerated. Did this cause 1,500 people to die in freezing water 3 hours before the rescue ship arrived?
Our next stop is to go down this hatch right here, which is the bunker hatch, and I think you can see it on my bot camera. And I'm going to take a little cruise down there and go down to E deck, and we're going to try to work our way over to Scotland Road, which is a big corridor that runs the length of the ship. Nobody's ever seen it since 1912, that is. And we're going to head that way right now. All right, we're now officially going exploring.
Scotland Road. It's on the E deck. This is a major artery running half the length of the ship. It was the main access way to the crew's quarters. And it had no watertight doors for 450 feet.
There's a set of stairs, quite nicely preserved. Still a little bit of the wood top rail. And you can really see the angle of the ship because the bot is level. So you can see the angle of the whole forward part of the ship now. And I'm going to try to scoot in to Scotland Road here.
It certainly doesn't look much like it used to. Jim is navigating almost by feel as the stairwell starts to look more like a rabbit hole.
This should be Scotland Road right here, and I believe it is. Our overhead's pretty good right here, so that's not too bad.
What's the significance of Scotland Road?
Well, it was the main sort of working crew artery that ran through the ship. Where is it? Looks like E deck really got crushed. I was kind of hoping Scotland Road wouldn't look like this. I was hoping it would be a little more open. But I think we can navigate here.
Now, 7 stories deep in the wreck, the tiny bot barely squeezes between hazards as it inches forward.
I feel like I'm traveling through the human body in a remake of Fantastic Voyage. Oh, that's crushed down. Now. All right, now it's opened up. Yes, now we're getting somewhere. This is more what I expected to see. Proper corridor. No.
So have you ever been there?
Nope, you are officially in new territory. Here. This is a door, apparently, that goes off to the side. That might be the door we're looking for. Ah! That's our door.
Thank you.
That's our door, guys. This is it. This is the ladder. This is the ladder that runs down through the Fiddly all the way to the boiler room 6. Lead stoker Fred Barrett would have come up this ladder and right out this door. Just take us down to boiler room 6.
Copy.
This thing is just full of debris down here. That's the way down right there, but we can't go like this.
But it looked like it was kind of collapsed further inboard.
Yeah, better withdraw here, because if I stir this up anymore, there's no current that will come along to clear this out. All right, well, I know where I came in, right where that tether is. All right, I'm officially giving up on Scotland Road. We're now into self-preservation mode. Well, there's the way out. To the grill door. We're coming out, and we're going to need some light. And see if they can shine their spotlight this time in the grill door. There's our light. Go toward the light. It's the way out. Killer. Trapped inside Titanic. Ah, we made it.
All right, we are back with Lori and Roy. And guys, I know that James Cameron specifically invited you guys here back on this expedition, and that you have some experiments going on down at the Titanic. What are you working on?
We're actually looking at the rate of deterioration of the Titanic itself through the rusticles.
And what have you learned so far? What is the rate?
Well, the rusticles are actually taking iron and manganese and sulfur, elements that actually make up the steel, and they're removing it from the hull and insides of the Titanic. So we're looking at how fast these bacteria actually act and are removing that.
And just on a visual sense, because you know the Titanic pretty well, would you say it's happening very quickly? Would you say it's happening slowly? What do you think?
Oh, it's happening extremely quickly. It's a very exponential growth that we see these bacteria working at. So as they're removing the steel, we can see the ship actually deteriorating as the years go on. So from 2005, 5 to 10 more years, you're looking at the mast being gone. 2028, the boat deck could be completely crushed in as an iron ore deposit. And as it goes further, eventually you'll just have the ribs of the hull that are lonely at the bottom, and the rest is an iron ore deposit.
Roy, obviously Titanic is going away. Is that exploration, or is that all natural?
It's completely natural. A lot of the deep shipwrecks also have rusticles, particularly when you get below 5,000 feet. And if a parallel to the Titanic is the Alcoa Puritan, sunk in the Gulf of Mexico during the Second World War. She's getting a coat of rusticles very, very similar in style and form and position to that on the Titanic. So it appears to be a part of nature's getting the iron back from the steel into pig iron. And if we were to give a spent rusticle to a geologist, they would classify it as pig iron.
How big can they get?
They can get up to 30, 40 feet. They can get 3 feet wide, and they can get 6 to 8 inches deep. And although they look big, they're very fragile, and they've got a lot of porosity. The water can get right inside. There's channels inside. The bacteria are living inside. And so we're still learning. We only learned to grow them in 1999. And now in 2005, we've learned that they're generating electricity. So it's a little electrical power station they've got going down there.
Amazing. I mean, and what did you say, 2028, it's pretty much going to be over. We're not going to be able to explore too much of it after that.
It'll be extremely fragile. As the bacteria are removing all those elements of the steel, they leave behind almost just the carbon skeleton of the walls or doors or whatever it may be. So it just makes it that much more dangerous to go into a wreck and start exploring again.
Well, you heard it from the experts, so let's not waste any more time. Let's go back to Titanic right now, where James Cameron is standing by.
The Titanic is becoming this huge living organism. And I always feel like it's becoming this kind of almost work of art, this kind of biomechanical Gothic haunted house.
Although we see some really good preservation on Titanic, also because of the fact that it's being consumed, it's a very unstable archaeological site, and it's not going to be around for a whole lot longer.
That's a great point. You know, the thing is that the kind of images that we're able to do right now won't be possible in a few years. This steel is being eaten at a prodigious rate, and you know, the type of investigation that we're able to do with these small ROVs is really critical, because there's so much of the inside of the ship. We plowed a lot of ground on this expedition. We saw a lot of the inside of the ship, but there's still a lot to be done. Of course, that's going to have to be done by somebody else, because I'm going to kind of wrap up my 10-year odyssey with Titanic with this expedition. I won't be coming back here, so it's a little. I'm savoring this moment. I have to tell you, I'm savoring this moment. Just sort of, I feel like I'm kind of standing here on the boat deck. There's something about the perspective of the ROV that's very different than what you see from a submersible. A submersible can't come down here and just kind of walk around the deck the ROV is almost like I get to walk the deck of Titanic, and that's a really neat thing.
Now, there is a target tonight on the ship. It is called the Turkish Baths, believed by many to be the most opulent and beautiful rooms in the great ship, also perhaps one of the best preserved. And before we take a look at that, Don, I want to ask you, what exactly are the Turkish Baths?
Well, in 1912, it was pretty much a spa, but they also had steam rooms and what they called electric baths, which is what I refer to as an easy bake oven. They thought that electricity was therapeutic, and they would wrap you in towels and put you in a box that had a bank of light bulbs in the lid. And then after that, you had different rooms where you could, a temperate room and a cooling room where you could gradually cool down and even go for a swim at the end if you wanted.
We believe it's the best preserved of any public space inside Titanic because of the materials that it was made of. Teak, ceramic tiles, linoleum floor, and bronze lamps. And these things do not deteriorate in seawater based on our experience. So we're really excited about it. The colors used in there, from bright blues to greens to rust red ceilings and a bright blue linoleum floor, it's an outrageous space.
Let's take a look at the Turkish Baths.
We're just about to head down the stairwell now, and we're going to go down actually 6 decks, and we're going to try to get into the Turkish Baths, which we've never seen. Nobody's ever seen it. I've been thinking about this since the last expedition. We almost made it. I was right at the top of the stairs, you know, and I could kind of see down the stairs, but there, that's the base of the stairs, right there.
Wow.
Yes.
Never seen this so clearly.
No.
Look at that, all the way down to E deck. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
You can see
Yeah.
he's got that lit really well.
Don, this may be a silly question, but why do they call them Turkish baths?
Well, I think they were sort of simulating a true Turkish bath, which really all it was sort of a spa with a Middle Eastern decor. And you could just go and get your, steam bath and your massage, whatever, the usual things.
All right, we're looking to port right here. And we're coming down, and the first thing we should see would be either this column or this wall right over here.
They're looking directly across to port here into the reception room area. There are some columns here.
These are the columns, yeah. You've seen these before.
There's a steel stanchion in the middle there supporting the deck, and then it's clad in a mahogany decorative cladding that was painted white.
Look at that.
There's some white paint remaining, yeah.
Look at that. You can still see some of the white paint.
Scallop motif.
Yeah. Most of the paint has fallen off, but there's still some down deep inside. That's another column. Elevator. There's the elevator.
Just around that corner is the elevator lobby.
Really?
Now they're swinging back,
Okay.
and he's looking into the stairwell.
We're looking back at the stairwell. It's just a tangle of girders and wires and stuff. It's looking up the staircase. You're looking up 5 decks there. Look at this. You're actually looking at the angle of the D-deck stairs right there. Now we're looking down. There's the E-deck stairs, what's left of them. And now I'm starting down. Okay, we're coming down.
I'm following Jim's movements. We're over the E-deck stairs right now.
far as I've been before right now. That's it. Okay, see that corner right there?
Yeah.
That's the corner of the fan room. That is actually on F deck. Okay, this is the right place. That's where we're going, right down there. I'm just gonna come forward a little bit more. That's the stairwell right down there.
There's the stairs. You can see some paneling down to a half landing.
It's the phone line, because that wasn't there before. It's a little skinny. Maybe I can try it this way. I think this is my best bet right here.
Looks like you might go over the fan room instead of down the actual stairs.
This is very tight. I'm scraping through here with like an inch to spare. I think I can just make it. Okay, all right. Looks like I'm over the stairwell, and now I'm starting down.
So show us exactly where we are on the ship. Just go ahead and orient us.
Okay, if you see on the navigator here, I'm going to pull forward and start to drop down to follow his movement. He's actually going down this stairwell.
We're coming down. Geez, this doesn't even look like stairs. Freaky cavern down here.
Are we in uncharted territories at this point?
Oh yeah. We're definitely in uncharted territories at this point.
Wow, there's some serious rustical growth.
It looks pretty open, so that's good.
This is exciting.
So this is deep, deep in the ship.
This is F deck. Oh gosh. That's the Turkish bath dead ahead.
Okay, this is the fan room.
Okay.
To our right. There's not a lot of debris here. The door to the Turkish baths is just ahead to the left. Look at how this post is bent just by the force of the ship hitting the bottom.
Look at that, it's just completely bent like a C.
Okay, now over here, that's the entrance to the Turkish bath right there.
This whole area is rather crushed down. I'm hitting something overhead, but I think I can just get through here. If I don't bring a rusticle down on my head, knock something off. That's bad when that happens.
Oh God, please don't silt out down here. Oh gosh.
We're so close.
He might silt out, and in this confined space, that could just ruin.
Yeah.
See all these rusticles?
Oh wow, he is knocking rusticles.
And if a heavy enough one lands on him, it'll make him negative, and he might get pinned to the deck.
Yeah.
So close.
If that had landed right on top of the bot, we'd have been toast. Okay, there it is.
He's gotten past it.
He's gotten past it.
He's moved past it. If you always keep moving, you always stay ahead of any cloud you stir up.
What are we looking at here?
I don't know. I'm a little disoriented, but this should be, we should be approaching the vestibule. Should be to our right. There it is.
There's not much vertical.
We got another rock in a hard place type of deal here. And I gotta just get in past this rusticle that's right here without knocking it down on me. It's a very tight squeeze. Alright, I'm going for it. Just gotta stay really low, scooting in here.
This is when your knuckles get white. Come on, baby.
And I think I'm past it.
He's got to turn right, and hopefully the door is missing on the right, and there's some access there.
This is completely hairball. If I break one of those loose and it falls on us, it'll pin us.
Oh, it looks like access.
All right, the door's open. Door's open. We're entering. Tell them we are entering Turkish baths.
We are entering Turkish baths.
This is the cooling room.
This is it. We're in. Yeah, baby. Tell them we're in the Turkish baths and we see the tiles.
We are in the Turkish baths and we see wall tiles.
Tile. That is tile.
Oh.
Tile.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that. The tile's on the wall.
It's all there.
You guys made the call. Look at the quality of preservation.
Yeah, Ken called it totally.
The preservation of this room is unreal.
That tile, that's a complete panel.
This just looks like glass. Look how reflective it is.
Oh my gosh.
It's exactly what Ken said.
Look at that.
This is stunning. Oh, we got a
a
ceiling
fixture.
fixture.
Look at the ceiling fixture. Ceiling fixture.
Oh, another.
There's another one.
In place.
3 lamps. They're all still on the ceiling. That is so unbelievable. All the beamwork is there. This lamp.
Look at the decorations. That is like perfectly intact.
Oh, look at the detail on that.
Yeah. No doubt it's bulb imploded upon descent.
Yeah, I'm sure it started life up there like the other ones, but since then it's kind of hung down, detached from the ceiling. Look at this chair. It's perfect condition.
Wow.
It's just missing the fabric.
Look at that. Look, furniture.
Yeah, that's a canvas chair.
Swing
That
chair.
is a canvas chair.
Oh, there's one of the beds.
Yeah,
one of the
look,
recliners.
there's one of the lounges. Tell them we see a lounge.
We see a lounge.
We see a chaise lounge. That thing is really good shape.
You see the frame? See the frame there? There's
Yeah.
another one. This thing's just upended.
Because this room, everything would have been floating around. It was one of the first rooms to flood.
There's another one
First
back
public
there.
rooms, yeah.
There's another one back there.
Look at that one. It's intact. You talk about deck chairs on the Titanic. There's one right there. Unbelievable. Look at these are little changing stalls. So this is all teak. And the teak is in, you know, almost perfect condition.
There's a stool. There's one of the stools right there.
Yes, a stool upside down.
There's another stool. Yeah.
And these are probably the stools you would have sat on in the changing stall.
Yeah. Look at that.
Unbelievable.
Look at the preservation. The tiles are brand new.
And look at all this woodwork. It's just intact.
Oh my lord.
You can see floor. We've never seen the floor.
Look, you see the baseboard. There's
Yeah,
no
all the way down to
sediment.
the
Is
floor.
that floor
That
tile?
almost looks like a
Is that
floor
floor
tile.
tile?
Framework again.
Isn't that incredible?
Wow, look at that.
Look at that gorgeous tile back in there. The colors are perfect. Can you imagine the force, the concussive force of this ship hitting the bottom, and this room survived?
Oh, it's like glass. Boy, it really reflects the light back.
And the green is a little lighter than we sort of thought.
Look how vibrant.
Oh, that is just stunning. The state of preservation is uncanny. Oh my God.
Copy that.
It's all here. It's like time has just stopped.
It has.
It's hard to imagine where we are. How deep we are. How remote we are from the human world. And yet, we find this beautiful place.
It is
Like it's a little church at the bottom of the ocean, you know? Look at the color. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's unbelievable.
There's a steward's call button right there.
Yeah, that's a call button. But if we push it, I bet nobody will come. It's moments like this where you really feel the ghosts of Titanic.
What is that?
Is that a dome?
It's a little
feature?
arched. I think it's yes, it's a dome. It's a little half dome styling flourish that they had to give it that kind of Middle Eastern flavor.
Yeah, the Moorish revival or something.
Look at this, a little Arabian fantasy at the bottom of the ocean. How bizarre is that? How surreal is that?
I know.
Look at that pattern.
It's so opulent.
Oh my! Just delicate wood patterning.
Look at the preservation of the woodwork.
Yeah. Wow.
Perfectly intact.
That is great.
Now I feel like the archaeologists that found, you know, the Palace of Knossos or King Tut's tomb, you know, what it must have felt like to them. This is so beyond what I had hoped for.
Well, folks, we are almost out of time here, but before we leave, let's get some final thoughts from the experts to see how they thought tonight went. Parks, we'll start with you.
We've spent so much time reconstructing these interiors, and to actually see them in real life, it's just mind-boggling.
Don?
Oh, I think it's been fantastic. It just makes me want to see more. I just want to go back and see the rest of the interior of the ship.
Ken?
I just want to thank Jim for giving so many of us around the world a live, unprecedented tour of this incredible ship.
And this has been a big trip for you as well. Step up, I want to hear what you thought of this whole exploration.
This has been a great journey. I hope that everything that we have got, all the data we've got this time, will really add to our body of knowledge about Titanic.
Well, for myself and the rest of the technical crew here at the Keldysh who have worked so hard to bring this to you, we want to say goodnight, but first, let's get a final word from the man who made the whole thing happen. Jim Cameron, your final thoughts, sir.
Well, John, we've come full circle. We're back here at the forward well deck of Titanic. And if you can look at my bot picture here, you can see the mast. And I'll tilt up, and you can see it goes on up to the bridge. And you can see, if you look at Mike's shot here, it shows how it's really crushed down. You can really see how the Laurie and Roy's bugs are eating this ship, and it's collapsing of its own weight very quickly. This is the door of the crow's nest right here, where Frederick Fleet would have stood when he saw the iceberg. And of course he saw it a few seconds too late. And Titanic wouldn't be here except for so many small factors that led up to that catastrophe. But this is a place of tragedy, and we treat it as sacred ground. And Titanic makes you work for the secrets. She does not give up her secrets easily. So we still have a lot of exploring to do. We've got a long night ahead of us. So I'm off to do more exploring and try to bring back some more cool images so that we have a record of what's inside this wreck, and ultimately a proper archaeological record of what Titanic really is, because, you know, she was never photographed in her day, and so we're just piecing it together. All right, time to go do some serious exploration. I'll see you later, John. Thanks for dropping in. Wow, this is a perspective you never get. It's like walking down the ship. God, these chains are big. You never really appreciate it when you're flying over it in a mirror. That is a platform to stand on, so you could literally stand at the bow and look out. And that's where Jack and Rose would have been standing. This is what it would have looked like to look out over the ocean. I never thought I'd never thought I'd be standing here.